Hey, this is Mike Muir from Suicidal Tendencies and Infectious Grooves and Psycho Michael, and may the rock be with you. Suicidal.
I really appreciate your time, Mike. It's an absolute pleasure to talk to you today. Welcome to May the Rock be with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. We are here because Suicidal are headed back to Australia, mate, a place you're very familiar with. Yeah, coming back with Metallica, which is super, super cool, as well as some side shows. What can Aussies expect at these shows?
Well, it's for us. It's going back. We've already done the U.S. dates with Metallica, and that was a very very surreal thing. And for me, playing football stadiums where teams that you grew up watching on TV were playing, and story that I say the second show we did was in Toronto. There was a place called Rogers Stadium where the Toronto Blue Jays play a baseball team.
Hmm.
And one of the people on the Metallica crew said, I promoted your show in Montreal 40 years ago. And he said, this must be a dream come true. And I was like, no, I would never dream this. I never would have thought of that. And if someone even brought it up, I would like look at them like they were the craziest person in the world. And I said, but that being said, I appreciate it. And I think it's amazing experience. And going back, the last time Metallica played there, I was in Australia, and I was going, oh man, I would love to play in Australia with Metallica and stuff. So that one, in a sense, you could call it dream come true. So,
Awesome.
because I'm literally just going, this would be amazing to play with them in Australia. I mean, Australia means so much to me. And so it's we're really, really excited about that.
Excellent. Excellent. Your live show, if you had to explain it in one word for someone who's never seen you before, how would you explain a Suicidal Tendencies show?
In one word?
Yeah.
Oh man. I don't ever use one word in my life. Um, uh, I, I guess I just have to put an experience. And I say that because over the years, so many people, after they've seen us the first time and have talked to them, the way that they described it is really interesting to me on so many different levels and stuff.
Mm.
So, I mean, it's great because we have an opportunity to be able to play in front of a lot of people that normally would not see us, that some of them maybe never heard of us or for whatever reason never saw us. And they're going to be there and they'll be like, oh, check it out, And then we have a chance to do our shows, which there'll be a lot of people that have seen us, that gone out of their way to see us, and are very excited to see us and have different backgrounds on how they got into it, whether it was skating or surfing or, family or whatever type of thing, whether it was the Warp Tour, whether it was way, way, way back the first time we played with Alice in Chains, or, whether it was Grand Theft Auto or, Tony Hawk's Game, or, there's so many different things that people, how they got first introduced to Suicidal. So we always call it kind of a little bit of a family reunion. And every time there's people always go, oh, this is their first show. And so I think that's one of the things that's the most exciting about doing music and, doing Suicidal.
Excellent. Now, with the discography that spans over 40 years now, how hard is it becoming to put a set list together these days?
Um, I think it's one of those ones that even years ago I said it's a mathematical impossibility and an emotional impossibility, because if you literally gave someone and said, hey, here's our set, we got 45 minutes on the Metallica tour, pick the songs, and we played the songs they picked. Afterwards they say, but you didn't play.
Yeah.
And it's a non-winning proposition, so to speak. But I think one of the things is when it's over, people know that we weren't going through the motions. As my dad always said, sweat don't lie. And I think one of the things that I've always been personally, I felt that I've had a good BS bullshit meter and stuff. And I remember being young and seeing bands and going, they're just going through the motion,
Hmm.
This is their job. this is just, they got nothing else they can do or that. And um, I don't want ever to be guilty of what I accuse other people of being, you know.
Yep.
So when the point is I don't want to be somewhere, I'm not going to be there. And I've made choices in my life so that I don't have to do things I don't. And it frustrates people sometimes because they're like, "Oh, this is a great opportunity. You should do that." I go, "Nah." They're like, "Why not?" I go, "I don't want to." It's
Yes.
not something that means something to me. And in the same sense, going, that circle back, doing the, obviously being able to play huge places with Metallica in Australia, that means something to me. I'd love doing that. Being
Mm,
able to do our own shows, that's great. Being able to be in Australia for over a month, that's amazing. To be able to do, I don't even think they're announced, but two Psycho Michael shows at the end of the tour, that's incredible.
yep.
So I think people will know that I'm there because I want to be, you know.
Excellent,
And,
man.
I think that's the best place to be,
Yeah.
where you want to be.
Outstanding. It's a brilliant message. Good way to put it. Now, I'm always intrigued by this because we get to see you up on stage. That's a gimme, right? But from your perspective, what's your favorite thing to see from the stage looking down at the crowd?
I'm very fortunate I got bad eyesight. So, so it's funny. Sometimes I don't want to say I get out of myself, but I'll just start talking, and then sometimes afterwards I'll go, what the hell did I say and stuff? And I was like, oh man, we just did a couple Infectious Groove shows in Southern California at this place called the Garden Amphitheater, and it was really good. It was really fun, and the crowd was great. And I go, oh, you're a bunch of beautiful people. I said, and I can honestly say that because I can't see none of y'all. I know there's a lot of people here, but I can't see none of your faces. Not that they are, that I could talk with this face, but yeah, I don't really have the best vision, and I don't. Every once in a while, there'll be something that'll stick in my head. But so many times after shows, people say, "Oh man, did you see one?" And I'm like, "Nope." And they'll be like, "Did you see this?" And I'll see the video afterwards, and they'll be like, "Is there video?" And seen some crazy stuff that's happened. People, Ben did this one is we call it the resurrection. He just went down and came back up, and it was crazy. But I was like, no, I didn't see it. And, so I kind of just get in my own little world and um, my safe spot, I guess, and that. So unless there's something really different, I don't notice so much. I mean, we were in Mexico and they're have a riot and there's fires burning in the crowd. You do notice stuff like that, obviously.
You'd hope so. You'd hope so. Now,
Yeah.
you are no stranger to Australia. Hard to do, but if you had to have a favorite memory of one of your previous trips down here, what would that be?
A favorite memory as far as a particular tour or just anything in general?
Yeah, just anything in general, to be honest.
Oh man, it's interesting because I just get there and I used to say the first time we went was in '93 and we started in Perth and I as I say it's the other side of the world,
Mm,
and it's a lot different now because of all the minerals, the resource, all that stuff. And but I was like, wow, it's like, is the air different here, And I really, really liked it. And but being living there for a few years when I was permanent resident and traveling around, and there's just so many things that I say that it's my dad said it's nice to be able to say nice things when they're true,
mm.
and Australia does a lot of things very well, get a lot of things right. Nobody gets everything perfect, and this and that, and one person's heaven's another hell, but there's a lot of things that's really nice. And to me, there's nothing nicer than just going there and cruising down the Gold Coast, different beaches, and just jumping in the water. It just that's kind of like when I used to come home from school or whatever, we go down to the beach and I just feel at home there. And that's just the best feeling where you just feel like you're at home, and that's priceless.
Great.
So I always I'm kind of fond of and it's a little harder to get to Sunshine Coast, but just getting to the Gold Coast, having some time off, and just going to the beach.
Beautiful, man. Love that. Now, over the years, you've had a lot of members come and go within the band, but the current lineup is huge. You got Tye, you got Jay in the band now. How's the band firing?
Oh, great. I think one of the things is, we've had a lot of people over the years and, you know, um, people have done a lot of things. And, it's interesting because I was mentioning the Effects Screw shows and Brooks Wackerman was playing drums with us again. He couldn't do the ones we did in Australia because he was touring with Avenged Sevenfold,
Mm.
but he was 14 when he started playing with us.
Wow.
And he replaced Josh Freeze, who was 17 when he started playing with us. And so you have like just going on the drummers, the bass players. There's just so many people that have done so many things, and Robert in Metallica now, and then Tye in the band. But the thing is with like Ben, said he goes, I was like, can't remember, he said he was like 12, 13, just skating and listening to Suicidal, and he goes, it really moved me, you know, physically and mentally. And he goes, with the new Suicidal, that's what I want to do. Is I want to do a record that someone that is getting into music or thinks they're into music, when they hear that, they get off their skateboard and they're like, "Whoa!" Listen to it, and then get back on their skateboard, and
Yeah.
listen to it while they're skating and stuff. Not just in the skateboarding thing, but whatever they do, you know. And he said, like, I felt like I was a better skateboarder, you know. And so to be able to do something that hopefully whatever someone does, it inspires them to be better at it. That's great, And I think there's always been genres, and over the years, so many, and there's genres, trends, and this and that. And you listen back, and you don't want to do a bell bottom record,
Mm.
you don't want to do the shag carpet record, and we never have. And so we want to do something that it'll be a little bit different than what other people are doing. We know what would be popular, or I guess most people try to do what's popular and they don't succeed.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that people are going to like it, but we want to do something that the what I'm saying is fortunate to have people that understand, whether it's Ty, who was, young and his dad was in the band and watches all the old videos of his dad when his dad was his age, and so they all have a background and kind of an understanding of what is where Suicidal should be the most effective.
Yeah, so cool, man. We had new music earlier this year with Adrenaline Addict. So why is
Yeah.
now the right time? First time in 7 years, new music from the band. Is that the start of more to come? Can we expect more a lot sooner than later?
Yeah, so actually with that song was originally it was doing it with Josh, our old bass player. Started doing a thing with him and Nisha, who's from Australia, and we when we got the Metallica tour, we were playing to people like, dude, that's fucking great, blah blah, and we're like, no, it's not Suicidal, and so I try to do the other singing, and everybody goes, ah, dude, it doesn't sound right, you know. So we had Jay and Ben and everybody play on it, and Ty, and there's actually two basses. There's Josh and Ty both on bass,
Mm.
and I think it's lyrically, it's obviously a very suicidal kind of a song. We I guess our original origins all skating, surfing, the action sports kind of thing and stuff. And so we're doing a video that'll be out, I think, next month for that.
Oh, cool.
And it's gonna be really cool. Has a lot of people that are love the band, that doing their thing, whether it's Kobe Raha, on setting world records, motocross jumps or whatever, and just a lot of great, um, people that didn't let their fears hold them back. And I think that's what um, the song's about, you know, being more than just alive,
Yeah.
pushing yourself, but being, smart about how you do it, and Kobe's doing setting a new record. He doesn't start and just like get on a bike and think it's going to happen. There's a lot of training and uh, studying and all kinds of things that go involved with it and practice. People just don't do things, or they don't survive.
Yeah. Yeah. Look forward to more too. That sounds great. I love that you're back into it. I love that it's all happening again. So it's kind of cool to see it flowing, which is really, really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you've been in this band for a long, 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 long time. I think,
Yeah.
when did you start the band?
Uh,
1980-ish?
about 1980. Yeah.
Cool. I was 4. All right. So when you
Yeah.
started the
Yeah.
band. So
Hey,
looking
well,
back,
we got something else in common. I was four also.
there you go. Looking back over your career, it can be very easy to say what can change over time. That's super easy to say the change.
Yeah.
What's the one thing that's always remained the same about suicidal tendencies?
Um, I've always said, this may be the last show, this may be the last tour,
Hmm.
you know, and and before we agree to something, and even more so, maybe lack of a better word, militant about it. I'm not going to do something I don't want to do,
Yeah.
and that's not like the little kids or being stubborn. It's like no. I've heard so many times this is a great opportunity. A million people would love to do that, and I said, well, I don't want to get in their way. Let them do it.
Hmm.
You know. So I think there's going to be a point. Fortunately, I can still move, but there'll be a point where I'm going to be in a proverbial rocking chair, and it's just the chair is going to be moving back and forth, and all I have is my mind. And that's when you reevaluate life, and that's when you have the massive regrets because there's no do-overs, there's no time machine. So my dad always said, regret lasts forever. Think before you do it,
Hmm.
and that's a philosophy that I've always tried to adhere to, and it's kept me um, a lot more sane, obviously, than I would be. So lucky for that.
Brilliant message. Love the way that you think, man. Now, lastly, let's look ahead to the future with a prediction. I always like to do this. Finish
Yeah.
this sentence for me. By the end of 2025, suicidal tendencies will.
By the end of 2025,
Mhm.
suicidal tendencies. Well, I'm going to be in. I'm going to Australia early and staying in December, so I'll be back home. Yeah, I'm milking it. I'm milking the Australia thing as long as I can, and I joke people. They talk about it like, well, you've been here a lot and blah blah blah, and I go, yeah, and we're already planning the next one.
Yep.
So, and you know, uh, I love it, and there's not many places I can say that. So, you know, uh, unfortunately, a lot of people will be seeing my ugly face there a lot.
Well, we're looking forward
So,
to it, man.
yeah.
Mate, thank you so much for your time, man. Absolute pleasure.
Cool.
Honor to talk to you today. So I can't wait to see you in Sydney, man.
Cool. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. Have a
See
good
you
one.
there.
See you.
Okay, great.
Bye.
Peace.